Have a seat, Laura, please. Have a seat. Have a seat. Yes. Well, we've wrapped up our investigation. Oh, Detective Carter, that's all right. He's feeling under the weather, so I came here to talk to you. Now, forgive me, I'm still not sure what you do for a living. Apparently it pays well, but I'm just a bit confused. Could you please clarify for me, Laura, what you do for a living? Mhm. Oh, what was that? Ah, you have an automatic air freshener. Yes, yes. No, no. There's not enough money in the city budget for our police department to have one of those installed. But please go on. Regarding your job? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, so you're a professional cosplayer. Uh-huh. Well, I did some research into that. Apparently, you and the community that you belong to, cosplayers, you dress up as your favorite video game or anime characters, and you go to cons. Um, Forgive me, Laura. Um, when I hear the word con, I think of ex-cons, con men, that sort of thing. I'm guessing that's not what you do. You don't cheat people out of money. No, no, of course not. So, please explain it a bit to me. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, I think I have the gist of it. How exactly do you make money, though? Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, I see. I see. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I mean, yeah, that is very interesting. That's very interesting. Um, Tell me, your husband who went missing, did he meet you at one of these cons? Uh-huh. 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 Oh, okay, okay. Well, the two of you got married, and he had more of a conventional job, right? Mm-hmm. So he was in plumbing, and he had his own company, and apparently it paid very well. Yes. Yes. That profession usually does. It usually does. Hmm. So that would mean that he was significantly older than you are, wouldn't it? Well, my brother is a professional plumber, dumber than a box of rocks. He started out at the very bottom, worked hard, learned everything he could, treated customers fairly, and eventually he was making a lot of money. And then he opened up his own company and he made more money. Took a lot of the clients from his former employer with him. Well, in fairness, he did ask the guy for a raise. And, well, the guy refused. So my brother opened up his own company, took a lot of employees with him, took a lot of clients with him. But it took him about a decade, maybe more. So he wasn't exactly a very young man at the time, and I'm guessing your husband wasn't either. Well, Laura, let me put it this way. We found him. Yeah. Or what was left of him. Oh no, actually the opposite. You see, someone apparently had no clue what they were doing, and rather than coat his naked body in a certain substance that would dissolve the flesh, the organs, and pretty much just leave a hard to identify skeleton, what this individual did is they coated the body instead with a similar type of compound, well, similar sounding, and it preserved the body, actually. Yes. Not very intelligent. Not very intelligent for someone who actually is very intelligent. Wouldn't you say, Laura? Well, two things. One, you didn't really react with shock when we mentioned we found your husband, or what's left of him, and there's a lot left of him. Yeah. Rather than cover his body with something that would eat away at the flesh and everything else, and just leave nice bleached bones, you covered him in a similar sounding substance that was actually a preservative. So yeah, his body actually decomposed at a significantly slower rate, and we found what we needed, Laura. Well, one of the things we found was something that we found with the body. Yeah, you should have been a lot more careful, because we found the receipt for that little mom and pop hardware store over in Tennessee, just right across the border. Yeah. The receipt was there. Our forensics analysts were able to get an address off of it, including the short list of items. We then headed over to that store, and turns out Grandma and Grandpa, they have a pretty extensive surveillance and security system. Yeah, rather surprising. Apparently last year they had a few break-ins and quite a few thefts, so they installed things. Mostly cameras. Cameras pointed outside. Yeah. We got you on video surveillance. Going there in your rather distinctive automobile with that vanity license plate. We've got you inside the store, shopping around. We even managed to get a close-up of that rather distinctive tattoo on the inside of your left arm. Oh yeah. Came up crystal clear. Turns out their son works at a security surveillance company. Yeah, vice president. They're very proud of him. Laura, why did you do it? I mean, I know your husband had an extensive life insurance policy, but according to what we were able to find, you had no clue that he had that extensive life insurance policy. So what happened? Yes. I see. Apparently, your husband really loved it when you would cosplay as other characters. And with your body, I'm just being honest, Laura. Is that what happened? You got the impression that every time you would cosplay as a different character, your husband would get turned on. The fact that you were really good at voice acting as well, and you could sound like those characters. Is that it? At first. And at first it was fun for you. Well, I guess I could see how that would play out. What happened? After a while, he lost interest in Laura, and instead, he just wanted you to be those different characters. Is that it? You felt like he was cheating on you with you in costume, you cosplaying as those other characters, you taking on their voices. Is that it? Oh, I see. You didn't mind as long as it was a variety of different characters, even some that you created. Oh. But then you created a character that he fell in love with. Is that it, Laura? It wasn't even an anime character. It wasn't even a character from a video game. You created a character all on your own. What was her name? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he fell in love with her. A very dominant, rather brutal vampire character. Someone who was strong, someone who was domineering, and he was into that. You didn't realize that. Then one day you realize that he always wanted you to be her. He wanted you to put on her makeup. He wanted you to put on her outfit. He wanted you to put on her costume jewelry. He wanted, well, he didn't want you. He wanted her to dominate him. And it was the most incredible experience he ever had. What happened that finally pushed you over the edge, Laura? I see. You were making love to him as her. And he called out her name, not yours, her name. And he said that he loved her. Wow. And he had never done that before, did he? No. Well, like I said, Laura, we found his body. We found the purchase receipt. And you messed up. Yeah. Rather than getting a compound that would dissolve the body faster, you ended up with one with a similar sounding name that actually preserved it. We were able to identify your husband very easily indeed. Well, let's be honest, it would have been very easy for you to lure him into the cemetery. The place is isolated, no one around, that old cemetery. I don't even think it has a caretaker. We couldn't find one during our investigation. You lured him there, dressed up as her. I mean, of course it makes sense. Dominant vampire mistress luring the poor helpless human who is enthralled with her to his doom. Oh, you want to know what first made me suspect it was you? It was when you said that for your anniversary, you bought your husband a white dial Rolex Submariner. Hate to break it to you, Laura. Rolex never made a white dial Submariner. Not one. Those don't exist. So, there is no missing Rolex, is there? No, Of course not. That was the thing that made me suspect. Well, what can I say, Laura? I'm into watches. I think it's time we left. Yes, there are 2 uniformed police officers standing outside your front door, and there's 2 over at the back door. Please don't do something foolish, such as trying to run away. It's over, Laura.